What I came to understand was, number one, the Bible teaches that we are the eschatological actors on the stage of history. That it's not just in the sweet by and by Yeshua is going to return. It's not just in the sweet by and by the nations will come to know the Lord. It's not just in the sweet by and by that Israel is going to be saved just because it's going to happen and God has decreed it would happen. That we are actually the ones, as followers of Yeshua, that move history toward the climax of the events of the end. And I saw that there were 4 things that had to happen for history to come to its ultimate climactic point for the second coming and the inauguration of the age to come. And I hadn't been taught that this was eschatological before. Number 1 was John chapter 17, where Yeshua prayed for the unity of the church. Number 1, he said that they might be one, that the world might believe that you have sent me. And when I saw this in a special time, in one particular devotional experience with the Lord, and I can point to the exact time when this happened, and I had this extraordinary revelation of God's love for the whole church. I was overwhelmed, and I saw that Yeshua's prayer was a prayer about the end, about eschatology, that they may be one. And he is praying for those that would believe through the witness of the apostles down through history, that they may be one, that the world might believe. And I saw some things in this chapter which were astonishing to me. One, that there is going to come, after the events and judgments of the end, there is going to come a mass conversion of the nations at the end. And I saw this in all the prophets. Isaiah 2, Isaiah 11. They beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks. The nations come up to Jerusalem. We have this situation of world peace where the nations are all one under the rule of the Messiah, that they might be one, that the world might believe. And I came to see that whenever the churches of an area come into unity, they have spiritual power and evangelism goes forth. And it became a pillar of my life to see the unity of the church as a Messianic Jew, to be burdened for that. Number 2, passion for Yeshua. That unless we were fervent for Yeshua, for Jesus, unless we were on fire for him, we could never be empowered to do the work of the kingdom. I'm not going to talk about that one, but there are a lot of people that have written on that throughout history. We have to have a passionate, fervent love for the Lord. Number 3, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24, 14 and 15, "But he that endures to the end will be saved, and this gospel of the kingdom must be preached in all the world to the nations, and then the end will come." And I understood that world missions is moving history to the goal of the revelation of Jesus to the whole world. That world missions was a key eschatological act. But I also understood the gospel of the kingdom in a deeper way, in that the kingdom had already broken into this world, and that the realities of the age to come were now in manifestation in terms of healing, preaching the gospel to the poor. I came to understand that the reality of the kingdom was seen where Jew and Gentile are one, because Jew and Gentile are being one in the Messiah is a manifestation of the age to come, where Israel and the nations are one under the rule of the Messiah. That the body of believers, where Jew and Gentile are one, without being assimilated, where national and ethnic identities are still fostered and celebrated, where they're right, is the kind of community that is the age to come in manifestation in this age. The foreshadowing that the kingdom has begun, and as we extend the kingdom, we move history to the climax of the kingdom coming in fullness. So I understood world missions is eschatological. And number 4 is mission to the Jewish people. Because Paul says, Israel has experienced a hardening in part until the full number of Gentiles has come in. And then he says, if their rejection has meant reconciliation of the world, what will their acceptance mean but life from the dead? So in Romans chapter 11 through 15, in that great passage, we read Paul saying, therefore I magnify my ministry, if by any chance I may provoke to jealousy those of my flesh, and save some of them. For if their rejection has been the reconciliation of the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? And therefore, I understood that we couldn't just look at the Jewish people coming to know Yeshua at the end as an eschatological act with nothing leading up to it, which sometimes I've seen some Christian Zionists teach like. But that Paul was very concerned to see a growing remnant of his people believe in Yeshua, because only that growing remnant, along with the witness of the rest of the believers from the nations, would be sufficient to provoke his people to come to Yeshua. That's why he says to the Gentiles, I magnify my ministry if I may provoke some of them. And then he says, and you as followers of Yeshua from the nations are to also be doing this to provoke some of them. But he identifies the Jewish people that come to Yeshua in Romans 11:5 as the saved remnant of Israel, not people that have left Israel to join something else. He describes them in Romans chapter 11:16 as the first fruits of the dough. And if the first fruits of the dough is holy, the rest of the dough is also holy. Meaning that the saved remnant of Israel, the Jewish believers, bring sanctification to the whole nation so that we are part of the reality that preserves the nation. There must be a saved remnant of Israel to preserve the Jewish nation as a whole, even the Jewish people that are not followers of Yeshua yet. So I saw these four truths: unity, passion, world missions, and provoking the Jewish people to jealousy to save some and to raise up a saved remnant of Israel.